We know how much you enjoy seeing some quite unusual, different boats, and when they're as special as the one behind me, I can completely see why. So this is a proper treat. This is the brand new Steeler B62 Beach Club, and it is a full custom-built aluminium boat. It's built in the Netherlands, and it has some totally unique features. And I am going to show you every single inch of it. My name is Hugo Andreae. You're watching Motorboat and Yachting. Let's go and tour it. So before we go on board, let's take a moment to just admire the build of this. You can see it is on IPS drives, and because it's on the stand here, you can see those extremely well indeed. They are those forward-facing twin duo counter-rotating propellers. It is all aluminium. Now the reason for that is that it keeps it extremely strong, but also very light. And surprisingly, this is a much quicker yacht than you might give it credit for. So even though it is a beach club variant, and you'll see exactly what that means in a minute, it's also quick. So for a 62-foot boat, it weighs just 30 tons, and even with those IPS 950 engines, it has a cruising speed, or a top speed, of 31.5 knots, which is very impressive for a boat of this size with relatively small engines. Now, as well as being impressively quick for that size of engine, it's also really fuel efficient. So at 15 knots, it uses just 6 litres per nautical mile. And at 20 knots, it's 7 litres per nautical mile. So with a cruising range from a 3,000 or 3,500 litre fuel tank is 400 miles at 20 knots. If you slow down to 15 knots, that's more like 600 miles. But look at this. This is the beach club area, and when they say beach club, they really mean it. They've gone for it big time. You can see these very stylish deck chairs here. We've got the aft-facing benches. There's sun pads up ahead, and this is all real leather. There's no messing. It's the proper real deal here. Umbrellas up above, very nicely protected by these deep bulwarks, but you can see we've got glass inserts, so you get a lovely view. When you're lying on board, you can look out to sea, but you are nicely protected. You're kept in by that glass there. And look at these super cool little bars. You can see you've got 2 bar stools either side. You've got places to hold your drinks. Got these sun umbrellas up above, exactly the same over on this side. That is a proper beach club area. There's no messing about. They haven't just stuck a bench on and called it a beach club. They have gone for it, and you can see it is a very unique layout. So there is a staircase leading down, so it's a kind of half a deck down and half a deck up. But before we have a look in there, I just wanted to show you around the decks, because there's something very cool up here. So really nice wide side decks. There's no guardrails, but this is a good height. This is kind of thigh height, so feels safe enough and really nice and wide. Look at the size of these opening windows. I'll show you those from inside, but that is one of the real features of it. It's a kind of indoor-outdoor boat, but wait till you see what happens up here. Just point out we've got some storage in here for kind of fenders and things, so even though it's a very clean look, it is surprisingly practical. But check this out. So right in the forepeak, this lovely little bow lounge, but not just a bow lounge. There is actually a second helm position here. How cool is that? You've got throttles, joystick, thrusters. You can sit right here in the forepeak, take control of the boat, and because it's that really strong, stiff aluminium hull, there's not the kind of shaking you get from a lightweight GRP thing. So you can sit here, drive it from the forepeak, right, all the controls you need, cruise along, slow speed, even at planing speed, I'm told it's perfectly comfortable. That is one of the coolest things I've seen in a long time. Again, real leather. Obviously we've got anchor locker in there. You can see it's buried right down in there, but the anchor pops out through the hull. There you can see some of that aluminium build. Just look how solid and sturdy that is, all these reinforcing structures. There's a ladder down there so you can get right down into the anchor well. But let's not waste any more time with that. There's too much else to see. Pop-up cleats, keeping it all very nice and clean and neat. And here is another feature. So big single section windscreen, sunbeds here. Look at that, integrated LEDs in the hardtop. But this is the cool thing, and I will show you this from inside. But can you see there is a little gap there between the top of the windscreen and the roof? And that is because the whole roof moves up and down. So it's like an open boat when you want it and a closed boat when you want it. Another big windscreen section here. Sorry, windscreen opening window section there. And then back down, quite a few steps down actually, into this beach club area. But let's start for a change on the lower deck. And I'll show you why I want to do that, because this is what they call the beach restaurant. So when they were designing it, they thought, well, if you have a beach club, you've got to have a place to drink, you've got to have a place to sunbathe, you've got to have a place to swim, and you've got to have a beach restaurant. And this is the beach restaurant. So you can see full galley area here. You can't really tell, but there are big windows there. Obviously we're up against a wall here, but you can see on the other side, lovely glazing in the hull. And again, because you've got that aluminium hull, you can afford to do that. It doesn't affect the structural rigidity. Got a TV in the bulkhead here, backlit marble screen. Probably doesn't show up, it's probably a bit bright on screen, but really cool. You can sit there, you can have your meal inside, but with a fantastic view out, and just these steps up leading to the beach club area here. Big fridges and things in there. All the usual cookers, grills, hobs. What have we got in there? Another big storage area. And then cleverly, this goes through to the accommodation deck, but you'll notice that on these little latches here, this is very much kind of sailing boat style, keep things simple, but there's a sliding door. So during the daytime, you can have it shut off, you can use the beach restaurant and never know that right behind that door is all the accommodation. So let's go and have a little look there whilst we can. So open it up and then you come through to the cabins. So we've got a twin cabin here. Not the widest of beds, they're probably sort of 2.5 feet. Again, you can't appreciate, but that's a big window there. Really good headroom. Everywhere on this boat, there is a minimum of 7 feet of headroom. And very clever to work in that much headroom on a boat that looks so sporty. Big cupboard in there, nothing special. There is, now moving forward through the boat, we've got another cabin there. Again, it's a twin. You can make these up into a double, by the way. There is an infill that goes in there and you can make it up in double. And in fact, there's a bit more than that, because up here, you'll notice there is another Pullman berth. And if I lower that down, now there is a steel wire that hangs in place and holds that in place, but I just wanted to show you that that is where there is an extra berth. So you can in fact sleep 3 people in this cabin. But there you can appreciate the size of those windows. Because of that structural strength of the aluminium, you can have really big hull windows. And this is an ensuite cabin. You can see there's a really good sized shower in the corner there, marble on the floor. And this has Jack and Jill entry. So if we come back out, you can see we are now back out in that lower deck area. So the other twin cabin that we passed down there will also use this bathroom using this door here. We'll go up these stairs in a minute, but first let's go through to the owner's cabin, and that is further forward still. And this is pretty much in the bow area. If I close that door behind me, you can just see the hull starting to taper at this point here. Really big bed. That is a 7-foot bed as well. The owner of this particular boat is apparently quite a tall chap, so understandably designed it to make sure that it is plenty of headroom everywhere, all around the bed, big ensuite bathroom here, 7 foot of headroom in the shower, really good sized shower, lots of storage behind here. Under the bed you can see there are drawers, more cupboards in there, and of course it's all completely bespoke, so if you want a different look or finish you can have it. Here's more of that lovely sort of chocolate leather. Even here on the floor we've got leather, so it feels very nice and soft underfoot. Here you can see parquet flooring, you can see the interlocking planks of wood. There is very little plastic on this boat, it's nearly all aluminium or real wood. Now let's go up these stairs. Check out the thickness of that, beautiful rounded ends on that stainless steel banister. Now, there's a sliding door there, so you can see that that can also shut off during the daytime. Now I can just hear a saxophonist giving it large outside, so hopefully that won't interrupt too much. But this is the upper saloon. So we saw the sort of lower beach restaurant that they talked about. There is a second galley on this slightly higher saloon level. So all the facilities here too, big sink. We've got a dishwasher in there. There's a grill here. Got lots of storage under here. So it's all about versatility and having the space, lots of sort of different spaces to hang out. So if you've got multiple generations, some can be up on this level, some can be down on the beach club, some can be in the beach restaurant. Big sloping glass window there. These are these opening glass windows from inside. Look how sizable they are, really big. But the whole point is that kind of convertible feel of the boat. When the weather turns, you can shut the lid, you can shut the windows. When the sun comes out, you can open it all up. I don't know if I'm able to do that, but you can see the controls for that are here. And I don't know if that is set up to work. I think there is probably a knack to it, but this whole section lifts up. You can see the pillars, there are 4 pillars all the way around there, and that will go up about another 6 inches to a foot. And when you open it, you get this glorious throughput of air running through the boat. Now, the designer of this boat, or the owner of the yard, actually specified this very dark roof. He wanted that kind of luxurious Bentley type feel. But of course you can have a much lighter feel if you want to, but it does feel pretty special. There are fridges absolutely everywhere around here too. We've got a fridge under the helm seat here. There are 2 fridges downstairs. There's a big television in there. And this is the helm station. We've got 2 widely spaced seats, throttles for those IPS drives, bow and stern thruster, joystick over here, vertical helm station. Great view forward through this big window here, but just imagine when you're cruising along at 20, 30 knots, you've got the air coming in through that gap there, but if you want to, you can close it down and stay completely warm and cozy. Twin tables, so you've got plenty of space to sit around those, and then flow back out down into that beach club area that we started off at. But what a cool idea to have that total kind of indoor-outdoor zone. You've got the much more informal beach restaurant downstairs, the more formal, darker, more luxurious galley and saloon up there. Right, that leaves one more place to see, and that is the engine room. Right, here we go. We can see there is quite a steep ladder. Hopefully I can negotiate that more or less one-handed. Well, that's quite painful on bare feet, I'll tell you that for free. Ooh. Right, that's better. Those rungs are really quite uncomfortable. They're just a bit narrow for bare feet. But when you're down here, you can see those are the Volvo engines. You can see the IPS drives at the back. You can see some of the aluminium fabrication mounts for those drives. Got checker plate flooring underneath, but relatively small engines for the size of boat. It's fascinating that it works that well in terms of speed and efficiency. We've got a big Seakeeper 9 stabilizer up here, really good easy access to the raw water strainers directly at the foot of the stairs, so you can check that there's no blockage in there. You've got plenty of cooling water. Generator over there. Now this is the only place there isn't 7 feet of headroom, of course. It is crouching room only, but there is just enough clearance over the engines. You can get down both sides of them too. Right, let's get back out. Let's finish up then sitting at one of these rather fine Beach Club stools. Now that is a really fascinating boat. Completely different layout, completely different look, but you know what? I think it really works. There are obviously little bits that you probably want to change. I'm personally not a big fan of this particular floor. I probably would want the real deal teak just to make it look a little bit more special. I think I'd go for a lighter finish in that upper saloon, but I am absolutely loving this Beach Club area. The whole point of going out on a boat is to enjoy the sea, and this looks like the ideal place to do that. Now, admittedly, this is not a cheap boat. It is a full custom build, so prices start at around 3.8 million euros. But of course, the beauty of a full custom boat is you can specify exactly how you want. So if you want a different layout in the Beach Club, a different finish in the interior, and again, because it's aluminium rather than GRP, you can have a completely different layout. If you want 2 bigger cabins, for example, or an extra bathroom, that's relatively easy to do because you're not held back by having to have the bulkheads in a particular place. So there you go. That is the Steeler B62 Beach Club. I hope you've enjoyed seeing something a bit different. I found it an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll look forward to bringing you more of these tours just as soon as I can.